The following is an encore presentation of stories from the Dooralong Transformation Centre.
And a very good morning. As usual on these Wednesdays, we have the Dooralong Report, where we hear stories of lives being transformed and turned around for the better, for good, and more than often involving God. We kind of like when God's involved things here. So with Christian radio station, God, hence it put two together. So Adam's looking at me, who's my guest, is like, okay, this guy's different. Well, normally they have Phil, who's in his spot, and Phil and I are very opposite. You know, I'm black, he's white, he's English, I'm not. I don't speak English. I speak English, according to my mom. But he's on break in Mario, England, having a good old time. And, well, you got me this morning. So, good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
Yes. I listened to a bit of your story this morning on coming through. I'm sure some of our listeners did. But during this segment, we like to get in and delve a little bit deeper and find out what's happening, what's going on. So, where are you from?
From Port Macquarie.
Port Macquarie?
Lovely mid-north coast.
Oh, it used to be my second home. Great fishing there.
It's a lot of people's second home.
Oh, loved it. Almost moved there. Almost got married to a girl who lived there. Almost on, if that would have happened, I'd have been on Rema in Port Macquarie. But I'm here. Central Coast is nice. Mm-hmm. It's nice. So born and bred in Port Macquarie?
No, not born and bred, but did a lot of schooling there. And,
all right.
And lived there for a lot of time. A lot of years.
So where did you originate from?
Wollongong.
Big difference.
I've still got a mother down there and a sister down there.
Okay.
So I've got a father and my wife and kids are up in Port Macquarie.
Okay. So how old are you, Adam?
43.
43. You look young, man. I would have said 30 maybe?
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay, so what are you taking? What sort of vitamins you on, dude? Is this Duralong too?
Duralong, mate.
Checking myself in. Health resort, is it? So, you're suffered from addiction to alcohol.
Yep.
And a little bit of drugs and things in there as well.
Of course.
Okay. Tell us about your upbringing. School-aged, friends, family.
School was different. I went to a few different schools.
All right.
I went to 6 schools in 5 years. Actually.
6 schools in 5 years?
Yeah.
Tell me that's because you guys moved.
Yeah, basically.
Good. You're not knocking people out, are you?
No, not at all.
All right.
Moved to Port Macquarie as about 13. And that's stayed at the one school from there on.
Okay.
It was a good upbringing, like any small little country town. A lot of surfing, fishing, hang with your mates, sort of thing. Travel to go surfing as well.
It would have been very small back then.
It was.
It wouldn't have been like it is now.
Probably a quarter of the size it is now.
It would have been very small back then. So who traveled as far as job-wise? Is that mom, dad?
My parents split up when I was 3.
Yep.
I lived with mum until I was 13 and then moved to Port Macquarie with dad.
Okay.
So, and dad was an ambulance officer.
Oh.
So he stayed in, that was his first coastal appointment.
Right,
always been out west before that.
Yeah.
It was, I had a bit of I had to look after myself at a lot of stages and a lot of trust put in myself as a young kid.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through shift work and all that sort of stuff. Got away with a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have done.
It's one parent, you can outrun them.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So where was your introduction to alcohol?
As a teenager, about 15, 16.
Okay.
Just with other kids around the neighbourhood, like mates, and I think someone grabbed a bottle of port off their father one night and we all had a bit, and the glow was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to say, at 15, 16, it would have been...
Didn't taste real good, but...
Yeah, it was the thrill of it, was it? It would have been unsupervised.
Of course.
Very much illegal.
Right.
All right, so you had your first sip of port. Had you had any alcohol before that, or was that your first
No, that was my first. Yeah, about 15 I would have been. And,
okay.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what most kids said. Oh, it was just a bit of fun.
Yeah. I didn't overdo it, so it was just fun. We had a laugh. Didn't think anything of it.
So it was just alcohol at that stage?
Yeah.
Was it marijuana or anything?
I tried a little bit of pot later on. And that escalated throughout my life, whereas I ended up probably smoking pot every day for many, many years.
Right.
But thought nothing of it.
Okay.
And it was just part of living.
Probably. Socially acceptable.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
But the alcohol was the actual hook. That was the one that actually clawed you. Okay,
that was the one that did the most damage.
Yeah. So you had your first drink with your mates. What happened from there? I mean, where did it become a sociable thing? I mean, you're 15. Someone swiped a bottle of port. Yeah, you had a bit of fun. Didn't like it, but yet.
Yeah, with football as well. It was sort of a culture. Played football and then. Played with a lot of older blokes as well. So as a 16-year-old, getting into nightclubs with them, into pubs with the older blokes. Like you said, I look like about 30. I've looked this age since I was 15. So it wasn't very hard to get in without the beard.
Yeah. So culture, it was there. It was embedded, and single parent, AMBO. They got weird shift work. What, 4 days on and
4 on, 4 off.
Yeah. So there's a lot of freedom there.
There was
to do what you get. Okay. I'm not trying to lay blame on the fact that the family split up.
Oh, no,
but at 16, 17, you're old enough to know right from wrong. And at that point, having that much freedom, you're making some of your own decisions and choices because you're coming into manhood there.
Yeah, exactly right.
And you're hanging out with men, and you're doing what men do, or those men did.
Yep.
So you had sort of a leading. You were, involved in something, which you could call family. Most football teams, the club's family.
A lot of bus trips too to go and play football at different towns. When you live in a little small country town, you're always travelling, and so the bus trips home were always.
You had a couple of slabs in the back of the
always. The esky was
played basketball here when I first got here. Coming home, that was a culture shock to me. What are you guys doing?
That was the first thing packed before anything else.
So I feel you on that one. So okay. So. You were introduced, and then that sort of was ingrained in you because of where you were just there.
Just became normal. You had a beer with just about anything you did.
Right.
After work, after play, after anything, it was just all right. Have a beer. It just was the next thing you did was grab a beer or whatever.
So, at any given point in time, any of your teammates or any of your friends or even your father, who did he know at that point that you were, socially drinking all the time? Well, I guess you're 17, you can do what you want then.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Were you still at home?
I just turned 18 when I left home.
Okay.
And I was not a seasoned drinker, but I was well on the way.
Well on the way, yeah.
Well into training for that one.
Still living in Portman Court?
Yes.
Okay.
I moved away just before I turned 19. I moved back down to Wollongong for work. Back in the early 90s, there wasn't a lot of work in the country. So moved down there and started working in the building trade.
So builder. So again, knock off work, throw down one.
Yep,
lunchtime, throw down one. Okay.
So it seemed to follow me around.
Yes. And, okay.
But it was just and it's funny saying that I worked with some Salvation Army people back then. So I didn't actually drink with the people I worked with, but who I socialised with.
Yeah. And by then it was the norm for you.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
And drugs would come along as well. As I turned 18, 19, 20, the drugs as well. And it was just, it didn't seem anything different because most of the people the circles I revolved around in.
That's what happens.
That's what everyone did.
Yeah. So were you in a relationship?
No, not full-on relationships, no.
No.
Short term, you'd meet the girls and they probably lasted as long as the drugs or alcohol did.
Okay.
That sort of thing. So it wasn't a priority at the time.
So 22.
Yep.
Working full time, out on your own.
Yep.
Still playing sport.
Yep.
Life's good. At that age, you got a job, you're working, you're playing sports, you got your mates, you're doing your thing. When did you first notice, or when did anyone say anything to you like, hey, maybe you need to slow down a little bit, or when was the first signs of something beginning to crack appear?
For a lot of years, no one really said anything. If they did, I probably ignored it and didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I broke my back in my mid-20s surfing, and had 6 months off work. During that time, I think I was in my third year of an apprenticeship.
Right.
And I didn't end up going to TAFE for a while. And then with a lot of time on my hands, it meant a lot more everything else.
Grog, yes. Okay.
So it was... And that was, looking back now, that's when it sort of started to escalate into basically the addiction that I ended up with.
Right, okay.
But, it was... No one really said anything to me basically until the last few years. But because it was always, I looked at it as a manageable alcoholic functioning.
Yeah, functioning,
but not really functioning. It was just on the outside.
So all those years leading up from 16 to football to moving back to Wollongong to having a job in the building trade where definitely you knock off time, the boys get together and have a few, it all pretty much primed you for, where's this wall going to fall down, and I'm just going to hit it. And it happened, unfortunately, breaking your back.
Yeah.
And with a lot of time on your hands, doing something that you normally do, but now find yourself doing it more.
More and more.
Yeah, more and more. Okay, right.
And that happened again in the last couple of years because I had back surgery 18 months ago now. And again, it had the time on my hands.
Yeah.
And my drinking escalated.
Yeah.
To well into unmanageable.
You do what you know.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly right.
Okay, let's get through a song and we'll come back and let's dive into that season of your life. So yeah, excellent. This is Wildfire here by Sunset. The Dooralong Stories. My guest today is Adam. We said and we listened to heard about Adam's upbringing. Broken home, not broken home, but marriage separated. Don't want to call it broken. Marriage separated. Lived with dad at age 13. Father was an ambulance driver. So, they have weird shifts, 4 on, 4 off. So he had a lot of freedom. Tasted his first drink at 15. Didn't like it, but didn't stop you. Hanging out with your mates, playing footy, socially drinking. Moved to Wollongong at age 19. Building trade, of course. Knock off time. Here come the brewskis. And that's where it started. And then all of a sudden, you broke your back, and you found yourself with a lot of time on your hands. And well, you do what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
right.
at that point, you're drinking and not really keeping up the count or the time.
No, you don't.
And you slip into it. Kind of like the soap operas. You watch 1, 2, 3, you're gone.
Yes, exactly.
Next thing you know, you wake up 3 years later. Hey, hang on.
Where did that go?
Yes, and it's still the same people in the thing. It's still dealing with the same problem. So, so here we are, broken back. You're drinking more. At what point did you know? Okay, hang on. Or get an idea that this may be a problem of mine.
That's a good question. Maybe by the time I spent probably wasted a lot of my 20s on it, to be honest. After breaking my back in the mid-20s, the latter part of my 20s I spent basically doing any drug I could, all alcohol and pot. By about 29 I moved back to Port Macquarie.
Okay.
Back home, there was a lot of friends I went to school with back home as well.
What was the reason for moving back home?
A change.
Just a change.
Maybe that was my first time that I really thought that I wasn't getting anywhere with with the drugs. And
possibly, because most times when you wake up and think, okay, hang on, you're so far down the rabbit hole. Yeah. You didn't realize back then.
No.
So your change of scenery, like you said, it might have been because of that. I'm bored. I'm done with this place.
And I wasn't working at the time.
Yeah.
So that was, again, the more time you got, the more trouble I was getting into.
Yeah.
So I went back to Port Macquarie and basically walked straight into a labouring job. So with some mates that I went to school with. So it's not what you know in a little town. It's who you know.
So you know.
And for the next 5 or so years, it was, or not even that, for the next 3 or 4 years, I just did brickies labouring.
Okay.
Earning good money, and again, the tradies, it was after work as soon as that 3:30 was on, so the beers were out.
Yep.
And so I didn't really change anything in my drinking habits or my pot smoking habit. It just was a different place.
Yeah. Was Dad still in Port Macquarie?
Yeah, he still is today.
Okay.
Yep, he's retired now.
Okay.
Living the good retired life.
In Port Macquarie.
Oh, yeah.
So did you move back in with Dad, or did you move in with mates?
I probably stayed with Dad for a month.
Month or so? Okay.
And then, moved in with mates and met the the mother of my children.
Okay.
I've got 2 boys to a previous relationship. I'm married, happily married, and my wife has a son. So between us, we've got the 3 boys.
Got the 3 boys.
Which is good. They're 11, 12 and 13.
Excellent. Good ages.
A great age.
Yes.
And so basically kept my life going as a drinker and a smoker and worked. So again, it was that functioning side of it. I was still able to get up and go.
Yeah. So to you, that was normal.
Yeah.
That was normal. Life is normal. So as far as you're concerned, there isn't a problem.
No, bringing in good money.
I'm married. I've got children. I'm doing what you do.
Yeah. Like everyone, the bloke next to me was doing exactly the same.
Yeah.
And everyone has their troubles with their wife, and you talk about it at work.
And after work over the drinks.
Yeah, exactly right.
So to everyone else, it still looks normal. It still looks the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the only thing is, I didn't know when to stop.
Yeah.
So if we have 3 or 4 at work after work, I'd make sure I had some to take home.
Yeah, trade of an alcohol.
Yeah, and that's one thing I didn't realise others didn't do. Some other blokes that could finish at that 2 or 3 at work.
Yeah.
And then go home and
climb in the car and go home.
Yeah. Whereas I had to take something with me home.
You got 2 or 3 in you already, and you got your 6-pack sitting next to you, and then
that was just a start.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
And,
okay.
That took a lot of time to realise that wasn't normal. Probably only the last 2 years.
So who first noticed?
Probably my wife.
Okay.
Was one of the biggest ones. She's one of my biggest supporter for sure, but she's also one that's not shy at telling me exactly how it is.
So it didn't start off with look, hon, maybe you had one too many, or maybe you had enough, or haven't you had enough tonight?
You drank that much in how long? Sort of thing.
Yeah. So at that stage, how's your health?
Reasonable.
Reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, carry a little bit of weight, but that's about the only problem. It's I've had the liver tests and all that, and back then it was okay.
Were you active, playing footy still?
No, I hadn't been playing footy, just work.
Just work.
And for the last 10 years I've worked in pubs.
Okay.
I got out of the building game because the back was starting to deteriorate a lot more again. And I thought, well, let's go and do something I like. And pub. Letting the kid letting the kid loose in the candy shop. It was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread.
So let me ask this: in the pub, what was your job?
I started off in a bottle shop.
In a bottle shop. Okay. And did you ever do bar work?
Yes.
So as a bartender, are you allowed every now and then with the customers to knock back 1 or 2, or that's
depending on what hotel I worked at?
Right.
I probably worked at one where we were allowed to do that occasionally.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing where you'd go and have a schooner every time or something like that, but occasionally you might be able to have a beer.
Yeah.
Getting close to the end of your shift, it's something that I never liked to do. I'd wait till I'd finish.
Wait till you finish.
Yeah, and it was because I sort of justify having a drink because I work so hard.
You work so hard. Yeah. So did you go home or did you hang around the pub after?
Usually hung around the pub after, or
the beers you would be a little bit on a discount, would it be?
A fairly big discount.
Yeah. So all the ingredients were there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And primed and ready to go, and here you are working in a pub where the drinks are dirt cheap. Wow.
And then after about 6 years, I started managing the pub, and that's where it probably deteriorated even more.
Right. But you got to that stage.
Yeah.
As a functioning alcoholic, you got to that stage.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you said you got to that point as you're managing a hotel, and that's when you begin to notice the signs.
Yeah.
What were they?
Drinking every day, needing to have that drink when I went home even more. I started to take grog that I shouldn't have.
Right.
So that's, thinking, right, you're doing stuff that you've never done before.
Yeah.
Those sort of behaviours. And not really thinking about the consequences of it either. So
not really caring.
No.
This is, I want that. I have to have that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the signs of an addiction, man.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's when you start to think, well, hang on, probably I do have a problem, but it's doing something about that problem that I couldn't grasp at the time.
So when did it all crash?
When I got found for taking a bottle of grog from work, and which wasn't a bad thing because I was still able to get work in other pubs.
Yeah.
But I also had back surgery last January, January 16. And again, like the pattern that's arisen over the years, when I had more time on my hands, that's when I started escalating the drinking. And I was drinking 1.5 bottles of vodka a day, if I could get it.
Wife no?
Yeah. Sometimes. Well, she tells me now she knew a lot more than I let her on.
Yeah.
I'd say I wasn't, but I don't know how you don't smell a bottle of vodka on someone, sort of thing. And
a whole box of Tic Tacs ain't going to help that.
No, it's not.
Come out of your pores, man.
That's what I got told.
Yeah, it's not going to help that.
And so it was, not working again.
Yeah.
Where it escalated really bad.
Wow.
To the point where, again, I was doing stuff that I'd never thought I'd do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the effect on your family.
Yep.
Because it's going to take a toll.
Yes.
At some point in time, not just your work life, but your social and your home life.
Yeah.
Wives are very supportive.
She's very supportive.
Yeah. But when they've had enough, and they'll let you know.
Yeah. there was a point there where the family home wasn't my family home.
Yeah.
For a few months. And being the alcoholic in me, he thought, green light, I can go and do what I want now.
Wow, okay, because most times it's, okay, well, it's a wake-up call. I need to do something about this. But to you saw the green light, let's go for it.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And I look back now, that is the alcoholic in me.
Yes.
That's that addiction. And I went to William Booth last year for 3 months because I thought that's what people wanted me to do.
Yeah.
On the outside, it looked like I was doing the program pretty well.
Yeah.
But I had 14 days without a drink and celebrated by having a drink.
Oh, okay. Let's hold it right there. And we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up from there because we want to hear about this. Tommy Saint here on 94.9. Talk with Adam. We left off with Adam. You were talking about you went into William Booth, which is the rehabilitation center. But before we talk about that, how did you get there? What happened to introduce you? Who introduced you? What made you go? What drug you there?
My mother introduced me to it.
Okay.
She suggested it. She'd obviously been speaking to my wife.
My mom's back in Wollongong, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were in Port. Okay.
And so I said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I did see that.
Wait a minute, it was just that simple?
Well,
Mom rang and you said, I'll go?
Not quite. I did see there was a problem.
Okay, all right.
But I still probably wasn't 100% ready to do it.
Yeah.
But everyone else wanted me to.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And I could see that I was losing things that were, my family.
Yeah.
And things like that. So I thought I'll give it a go. Like I said, so I went to William Booth after probably a 3-month waiting to get in.
Did you drink in those 3 months while you're waiting? Oh, yeah? Because you knew I'm going in.
I'll make the most of it.
No more candy. I'm going to finish off as much as I can.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly
all right.
So
Okay.
I think I drank the night before I went in as well. So,
all right.
But walked in sober. As you walk in, you blow in the breath test. And blew 0. And it was a learning curve.
So it's 14 days in William Booth. That's the term.
It was meant to be a 10-month or so thing.
Wow. Okay.
There's detox to start with, which was about a week.
Okay.
And then you start your program.
Right.
So, and after 14 days of my program started, I thought, let's have a drink. To celebrate that sort of thing. It's been a long, long time since I'd lasted 14 days without a drink.
14 days, okay. And you had a drink at the local pub?
No, I went out and got some vodka and put it in a little container and brought it back in.
Right, okay. So we didn't go out and get like a beer.
No. We went and had some good stuff.
We had a drink. Okay, gotcha, okay. So you brought it in, get caught?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
Got away with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and...
okay.
So that continued to cycle for the next 3 months. So every 3 or so weeks I'd do it again.
Out and get... Right, okay.
Until I did it one time and then decided I'd go and have a chat with one of the staff members. And the minties weren't enough to cover it.
No.
And they sort of said, well, you can start again or you can go home. So I decided I'd go home.
Okay. So back to Port we went?
I actually went back down to Wollongong. Stayed with my sister for a little while, partied for a little while.
Okay.
And then went home. With my tail between my legs because my wife was not very happy at all.
How long did you stay in Wollongong?
About a week.
About a week, okay. All right.
So went home, tried to patch things up, but things were starting to escalate again. The drinking and the pot smoking.
Yeah.
So it was basically I was told, all right, see you later, by the wife. She said, well, she's had enough, but still was fighting in my corner for me. So
she said, see you later. Where'd you go?
To my father's.
Okay.
And to mates' houses. I was
all right.
Crashing out after a session, big drink session or something like that. You just stay there.
All right. So what led you to Dooralong? How did you get here?
Well, part of it I think was I knew I had to go back and finish what I started. Yeah. And my pride didn't want me going back to Booth. But so I thought Dooralong. I'd heard of Dooralong when I was at William Booth, and thought, I'll go there. And plus, it's closer to home.
Yeah.
But little did I know I had to go to Booth for detox before I went to Dooralong. But as soon as I walked in there, I didn't know whether I was going to walk through those doors until I actually did. And as soon as I did, I handed my life over to God. Yeah, and it was an amazing transformation, at the start of an amazing transformation.
He'll gladly accept it too.
Yeah, oh, exactly right. It's and the staff member who was the last staff member to see me there when I walked out half drunk the last time was the first one to welcome me with open hands.
Amen.
And it was just all the worries and thoughts of what people would think went out the window. Spent 5 days there and then was driven to Dooralong. And was amazed at the place.
You've been to Dooralong for 3 months?
Yes, just over.
Have you snuck out yet? Don't say that on the radio. They're listening.
Only when allowed.
They're listening. Randy Dooralong going, here we go. How's he going out? Okay. How are you feeling?
Great.
Right?
Yeah, for the first time probably in my life. It's the transformation that God has had in my life since being in there just sort of fills me with that hope and of what's to come.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You can see a better life.
Yeah, totally.
Literally, probably. Because
and I think God's I've been through that for a reason. He's got something planned. And, whatever that may be.
Yeah. I mean, this right here, you sharing your testimony, man. There are a lot of guys out there, exactly like you, been or are doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And, they've got friends around them telling them about it, but it takes someone who's gone through, who actually knows. And they know that feeling the way you talk about it. They know that feeling.
Yeah.
And they hear it from you. And it still is hope in them. If he can do it, I can do it too.
And I'm learning about myself, who I am, which I've never really tried to do before, and know what certain feelings are, and emotions, and which I didn't even know I had, and like that. So,
family proud of you?
Sorry?
Your family proud of you?
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Like
good feeling.
That's hard to. Well, sometimes hard to accept.
Yes.
That I'm proud of you, but I'm starting to learn to accept that.
It's that unconditional love, man.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's great when a woman says, I do, and she does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
She's there.
Yeah.
You won't ever forget that.
No.
She knows that. She won't ever let you forget it.
No.
But it's good. God's setting you up for a great foundation, so it's nice. So, 3 months here. What's your next process here? Because you've got, what is it, 9 months here?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes?
Yep.
Okay. All
right. I've never put a time limit on it.
Okay.
Since I've been there. I've made one promise to myself when I walked in, and to be honest, because it's one thing I haven't been through my life, that I'd just be 100% honest.
Yeah.
And the flow-on effect from that's been amazing.
Truth will set you free.
Yep.
May get you in trouble sometimes. It'll set you free, though.
Not as much trouble as what I can get myself in if I lie.
Excellent. Man, look, hey, this has been interesting. It's been great chatting with you, bro. So, you got some more time to do along. Please do. Come back and see us before you exit the program.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Make sure you tell them that. They'll know we like to see guys come back when they're early on. You're 3 months in.
Yep.
You look well. You look fine. You sound great.
Feel it.
And the confidence is there. Knowing yourself and in God. And you need that.
Yep.
It's there.
Yeah.
So, it'd be good to see you, before you go, man.
Yeah. Without God and that, I wouldn't be here today.
Amen.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's the truth.
That's true.
Tell them where I'd be. Some street corner in Los Angeles selling something that don't belong to me. My guest today from Dooralong has been Adam, and it's been a joy and a privilege talking to you.
I appreciate it.
I wish you all the best, and we'll look forward to you coming back.
Yeah, I'd love it.
You've been listening to an encore presentation of the Dooralong stories, which can be heard live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and repeated 8 p.m. Sunday and 1 a.m. Wednesday, right here on 94.9 rema.cc.